Welcome to Konfidence with Katheleen, hosted by me, Katheleen Diggle. So, welcome everyone. Welcome Tricia. Thank you for to do another podcast with me. You were my first guest when I started that, so I really appreciate that you did it with me. Absolutely. It was right after the BFA, I think. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So it's been a minute.
It's been like a while, and you have a long road, and you did amazing thing too. And again, congratulations with Adios and with everything you work. I know how hard you work and everything that you do, and so congratulations. But I don't want to. We know about your story and everyone follows you.
Yes.
But why I was asking you, it's because I had some communication with horses, with the owner, or they were asking me, people always try different product, always want the best for their horse. So they want me, and I'm always say, I don't sell product, I'm not a vet, I'm not a trainer, but I'm feeling what help the horse or not. And then there are some that they ask me about your product, and I was not able to really explain it because for me it's more feeling, but that's why I was like, okay, Tricia, you need to explain me, like as a trainer, as a horse owner, how did you came to create your own product? And you don't have enough things going on, or even before, I know even before Adios, you had a lot too, because you built that barn, and you had a lot of horses too before that. So how did you start that, and why?
So in the beginning, we actually started with a different product, which was the Fire. So that was kind of like the basis for all of this. So I really wanted to, at the time, we gotta go like way back. Okay, so at the time, I was in the gym constantly, like 2 hours a day, and definitely working out, really pushing myself to doing bodybuilding. And one thing I really noticed is like I lived on aminos. So, and I still drink them today. This is one of my favorite ones. But I lived on aminos, and so I was really curious, like, okay, so we're trying to build muscle, repair muscle, recover faster. And then I was like, why are my horses not on this? They're significantly more muscle mass than we are. And so it was really important to me. So as I started doing a lot of research on that, I'd opened up like a whole can of worms for equine supplements, how horses are, digesting things. So a big thing is that I learned from all my research from this is that, yes, you have your aminos listed on a bag of feed, but they're getting it from the ingredients in the feed, which means that the horse has to break it down before they can access it and use it. So a lot of times things that are listed in the feed, you're not getting anything from, because they're not even able to access it until it's in their hindgut. So I was like, okay, so I thought my horse was getting all these things from their feed, but they weren't, So we started Not enough, yeah. Or not at all.
Not at all, yeah.
And so I really started to look into that. So when we first started with the amino, so this company's actually been around for 5 years now, but it's really picked up a lot. Like this last year, I have way better help that helps me now, because it's not my goal. Like making the aminos wasn't to have another company. It was just to have good, clean products for my own horses. So, but the problem is obviously in order to do that, you have to buy bulk amounts of a specific thing that you want the lab to make. So we found an FDA lab that makes all these products. They also locally source everything, so that's really cool. We know where everything is coming from. And when I told them that I wanted to make aminos, they told me, like, you're not going to sell them. And I said, well, I want aminos, right? And I was like, and I think that if we can educate the consumer on like why we're feeding aminos, that's where I'm going to, people will want that for their horse, because like I said, I drink them every day. I can definitely tell a difference when I'm on the aminos. And so that's kind of how this all got going. So then when you start looking at the ingredients and supplements, either companies aren't telling you what's in them, which was really hard when I had horses that had like sensitivities to different things, right? Because you need to know what is in them. And so my goal creating this was like, I wanted to be able to know every ingredient that went in it. And so there's a lot of things that, for instance, in our paste, we use soy as a filler or a binder. And so the thing about soy is, yes, there are some horses that can't have soy.
Allergy.
That's fine. But the alternative that they use is silica. Well, there's no regulation for horses, right? I don't know how much of anything is going in there. Also, in the United States, the FDA does allow a small amount of silica to be used as a binder. But there's a lot of studies in other countries where their people are not clearing it from their body, and it can cause problems. Some smaller countries, it's been outlawed. So things like that, where like maybe ours is not up to date, or I feel like a lot of people will think that it's like politically motivated, or whatever reason that like Red 40, for instance, is just now getting banned, and there's been studies on that forever. So like I just think that there's not a lot of regulation on that, and so I really wanted to be able to trust, like I am okay taking a spoonful of this, it's not gonna hurt me, right? And that's how I need to feel when I give it to my horse. Like I always joke, because I'm like, a big reason I don't want to use silica is like it's the deal in the bottom of your beef jerky to keep the moisture out, and I'm like, I just don't I don't feel like I should eat. It says do not eat. Why do we eat it? And so just kind of trying to like simplify all those things, make sure I knew what was going into all the products. We have 3 different products right now, which is going to be the Focus, which is this one with CBD, the Repair. The Repair and the Focus are our main products. So Repair is really good all around for barrel horses. It has aminos in it, electrolytes, and some stomach care. No colors, no fillers, nothing, no extra.
Question: why you said just barrel racer?
So it goes into everything, but it was formulated for my personal barrel horses.
But when you gave that to the horse, that helped them to recover more fast. That's correct?
So it has your electrolytes, which are going to help for my horses that I run on Lasix, because in my program. Plus, also like making a lot of runs. It's Texas, so sweating. When it's cold, helps them drink more. All those things. So like it truly was formulated for my performance horses.
Your needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then from there, we went ahead and we did, the stomach care, because I feel like that's something that's a lot of times overlooked. And I still am going to give Ulcer Guard and, other products like that, and, make sure that I'm taking care of their stomach. But it's really good to just have like a base that they're getting something, even if you can't, that's the hardest thing about a lot of those products. It's really expensive. And I understand that like not everybody can afford to give Ulcer Guard every day, or give those kind of products. So I wanted to have something that kind of was like covering the bases for like simple but effective, and just able to kind of it is going to help. It's also going to help you get the most out of your feed. So when the aminos are present, not only does it help with fuel, muscles, and stuff like that, but also it's going to help them digest everything quicker, because the aminos are in simple form, and so it's going to start digesting in the stomach, where they're able to break down and use all those nutrients from their feed. So it's just helping you get the most from what you're already doing. Okay. And so that's been really important.
And so that you gave that daily in their grain, or in
Yep, you can give it in their grain. So horses will eat it plain, or like I'll get some out, like a little bit, like a handful of alfalfa pellets, and mix it in and feed it to them that way like a treat. They've been pretty good about eating the powders with that. Okay. Yep. And then the paste. So the paste are going to be only aminos. So if you have a horse that ties up, if you have a horse like you're gonna run, where that they're exerting that extra energy, that's where these are really, really good, because it's nothing but aminos. So it's just like a super boost. The Fire is really cool because it has it's like a big dose of arginine, so it improves circulation, and so you can see like the veins and stuff pop naturally. So there's no drugs in it.
So do you give all that after a run, or
you can? So a lot of people use the Fire before.
Okay.
You can give it 2 hours out, and then the Repair you can do before, after, whatever, like however you want to give it, or even if you just work them hard at home and you feel like that was a harder day for them. The Focus is really cool. It has the CBD in it, and it's a CBD isolate, so you're getting all the benefits from CBD without the THC and stuff in it. So it's very easily, and CBD has a ton of science behind it, and it also like helps, you know,
inflammation,
yeah, like and also like, you know, people give it to a little bit as a calming thing. So if you're wanting to give it a couple hours out from your run, you can do that to kind of help keep that horse relaxed. But also it's a great tool every day. So like when you feed the Focus daily, it just is going to help kind of keep them leveled out. Yep.
Okay. And I want to come back to the fire one.
Okay.
So you said that it works really like, explain me that, why you do that, and you know, for the blood flow and everything a little bit more, because I'm feeling that's something that people, they don't think about it, or
so we wanted something natural that could help to improve that circulation. So there's a couple different scenarios that you can use the fire. Arginine is really, really good for healing properties. So let's say you have a horse coming back from a surgery, coming back like a cut, you know, anything like that, that improved circulation is going to definitely help with that. But also on the running side, if you have something that you're wanting them to kind of be a little bit more awake without going like a medical route, I think the fires are really good. You know, sometimes too, just like it's just like an energy boost. So I compare it to my amino. So my aminos have caffeine in it. Caffeine is illegal for horses. Yeah. And so it's something similar where like they're still getting that like pick me up without like the highs and the lows of it. And I think that's a really big help.
Big help. And can I ask you with like Adios, what is your routine with your product?
Repair. So
yeah.
So I might fall off if I
if you give it. I'm not sure that it works good for him.
Oh gosh, but the repair is really awesome too, because if you see Adios, he's like a very muscly horse, and so I really feel like the repair is a really good like just kind of helps keep everything moving where they're not getting tighter. I just want to be able to keep everything working as God intended.
Okay, so do you give it that before or after?
So he's on the daily repair.
Okay.
And then I just use the pace, like if he's in a stall for a few days, like he's not getting turned out, or you know what I mean, like anywhere where I think he might be just a little tighter. Because he's, you know, for whatever situation, like when you're running him and then you're leaving him in a stall, or if I feel like I worked him pretty hard, or especially if you know, with the weather changes and stuff like that. And so we're actually working on a new product now that I hope to have this week, the samples, but we've been working on it for like almost a year with 2 nutritionists, and I'm really excited. But it's going to be an electrolyte with stomach care, because so the reason that the repair doesn't have electrolytes in it is I wanted you to be able to give it like on an empty stomach, or like when you're competing, where we don't have to worry about ulcers, right? So I wanted to make sure it was good, because this does have some stomach care in it too. So I want to just make sure we were like kind of covered when they need it. But also as a competitor, now I'm like, you know, so those of you guys following along with my journey, now I've started rodeo. So now there's all kinds of scenarios that I'm in where I really want a solid electrolyte only. Like he got his repair, right, and like he's good on aminos, but now I'm like, okay, now sometimes like when I went to Denver, I had to run twice in the same day. We did have to give Lasix twice. So how do you handle those situations, you know? So that's where I was like, I want an electrolyte, but I want to make sure like in that situation that he's covered when, you know, he's not going to have a lot of food in between. Like he's still going to be a little lighter, or like a little stress or excitement, you know. So I'm like, I want to make sure he's good with that. So we actually use sunflower oil as a binder for that one, and so we just finished all of our preliminary tests, and I'll have my first samples this week. But I'm super excited because it's going to be an electrolyte with the stomach care and probiotics in it, and so you're going to be able to like give it and know you're covered. You know, that's the thing about these horses, is it's not necessarily that one size fits all. So you want to make sure that you have something for each situation that you find yourself in. Yeah.
in. And do you, I don't know, I'm just asking those questions. Is there some horse that they cannot have it, or is there with some product or times that you said maybe don't do it or don't overdo it? I don't know, I'm just.
So, obviously, I'm not a vet. And so it's definitely something that you can talk with your vet about. That we will be stocking everything at Double X Equine. As soon as I have 5 seconds to get over there and set it up. But so we're super excited to work with Dr. Lee on all that stuff. But it just kind of depends, So like the pace, for instance, because we did use soy, so you wouldn't want to give it to a horse that's overly sensitive to soy. Most of your horses are going to be fine. It's a very small amount, and it is nothing but aminos, right? The repair and the focus powder don't have any soy in it. They do have vitamin E in it, again, help with the muscles and stuff. So there's not going to be a lot of stuff there. The one thing, the question that I get kind of often on the focus and repair is it does have sugar in it. But it's also important to realize that horses don't use sugar the same way that people do, right? And so horses are either going to burn glycogen, sugar, or muscle. So you have to make sure that they have enough in their system, right? Which they usually get from grass, alfalfa, whatever they're eating. But they do need a performance horse does need that in their diet so that they're not burning muscle.
But I think sometimes too in the grain or things like that, they have that balance too. And that's why everyone makes study too. And that's why you did your study too, for that, to keep it balanced, to really make the best formula to help them.
And making sure that they're, like, I feel like going down the road. So the cool thing about doing this stuff, or like just being on both sides. So I feel like I'm always in this unique position, whether it's with the stallions or with the supplement, because it's like, yes, we have the freedom to create it. We're working with great nutritionists. We have a great lab that we work with, but also like as a competitor, like I need different things. So I think it's really cool to be able to be like, okay, this is what I need for my horses, and to be able to put that together, bring it all the way to market, and then be able to sell it.
You test it and you saw the
use it.
You use them too, and you saw the result with that too.
And I laugh because we have done more promotion in the last month probably than the whole 5 years. Okay, because this has kind of been the bottom of the totem pole for me, because the whole point of making this was just for me. So I wasn't really worried if it sold or didn't sell. Like, I just needed to get enough product bought that they would continue to make my formulas. So it wasn't ever me thinking like, okay, we're going to sell this to everyone. And so what's so cool about the aminos and like all the products that we do is it's like solely word of mouth. Like, it has grown so much, and literally with $0 in advertising. Like, I have not advertised it at all. We haven't put it in any magazines. We haven't done anything, because literally I just wanted to make it for me. And so it's super cool to see how like now it has really grown.
But what I'm feeling too, it's like the educational part of all those things.
Oh, for sure.
We were talking about it, like about different things for the lung or bleeder, or there's different protocol, there's different things that people try or whatever. But what I'm feeling first, it's like educate yourself.
For sure.
That's an important part, and I'm feeling that's a part that you do for yourself first, and you share it well too. And that's why I want to, go, because more it's natural sometimes. Don't get me wrong, medication are there for a reason too.
For sure,
But if you can start more natural things.
They always say, like, there's a lot of things that you can do for your skincare that's natural and everything, but nothing's ever going to replace Botox.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I agree. I agree.
So it's been really cool, though, because I do believe over supplementing is a thing. And I see so many people that, and I know that it comes from a good place, right? Like the owners are just wanting to do what's best for their horse. And so if you guys come to my barn, I'm the epitome of less is more. Like, I'm very bare minimum on everything. Like, I make sure I have good quality, feed that they're getting, always the best hay. in alfalfa. Like, I just want to make sure they're getting the most out of those things, because, like, you know, it's so much physical demand from them, but I want to make sure that I'm not over supplementing, because I think a lot of times, like, a lot of people that have problems with, like, tying up or muscle soreness, stuff like that, it probably is from something stemming from their diet, right? Just like people, that inflammation, a lot of times you can completely change your diet and completely fix
like
everything.
the gluten right now, you know,
Yes.
since a couple of years everyone talks about it.
Yep.
But before not. But now people are more aware, but there's things that
Yep.
you read, that you can learn, and
For sure. So I think that I really just want to keep that less is more approach, where, you know, I just want simple things. I want to understand the ingredients. If it doesn't need to be in there, I don't want it in there, you know? And so I think that was kind of the biggest thing. I think that maybe they were a little frustrated with me in the beginning, because I told the lab, I was like, if I'm not comfortable taking a spoonful of it myself, I'm not going to give it to my horse.
yeah.
So, and I think just being educated on the aminos and what they do and how they help muscle recovery, you know, it's a huge, huge thing. So it's, I literally drink aminos every day. So I think it's just bringing that into my program.
Your program and with the horses.
Yep.
too. Hey, thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much. So, but if I want to order your product, and you are on the road, so no. Do you have a website? I will share all the information
Yes.
under that podcast and the video
Yep.
too. But so you can. What is your website?
The website is redhotequineaminos.com.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect, and everything out there, and you
Everything's
can
there. Lots of literature too on it, and then Rosie who is in the office with that, and she is like so fast.
So she will
Yeah.
take care of everything because you
Fast.
have enough.
Yes,
you
yes.
don't have time to do everything.
Absolutely. So she's definitely been a huge help this year. I think a lot of that is just because she's so great at getting everything out to customers. So we're super happy to have her on the team.
Thank you again, and so we'll probably do another one and talk about something else. Maybe
Perfect.
after your season of rodeo and things like that, how you
Yeah.
we'll see, and we will still follow you on your social media.
Yep.
Thank you, Tricia.
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And good luck.
Oh, we
Good
got
luck.
a lot coming. We're definitely gonna need lots of aminos. on the
or maybe take the fire.
summer run.
Take the fire for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing your time with me. Please make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe on all my social media, and don't forget to leave me a review. If you want to learn more about me, visit my website, horseconfidence.com with a K, where you can also order my book.